What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
Bro.
I know, man. It's
Huh?
crazy, bro.
Yeah. Homie.
Crazy journey.
Take my old man glasses off. Uh,
Where I don't even know where. Oh, mine are left. I left mine in my car. My
I
actual
can't.
glasses.
You're all fuzzy. I gotta leave them on. There you go.
Yeah, I
Now I
put
can.
them on. There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Well, let me give an intro, a kind of a short intro, because for anyone watching or listening, this is Mike or Michael, my buddy from the Marine Corps. That you guys, anyone that's followed or listened or watched this podcast since the beginning, uh, has heard me talk about you, has heard me talk about Mike for probably a couple times, more than that. Yeah,
I'm
because
sure
I
you're
told this,
lying. You gotta be fucking lying.
I told the story about when how you first met Jennifer, my wife,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
in the hotel room
Yeah.
when she came out to stay. So anyone watching or listening, if you guys have heard that story a couple times, this is the guy I was talking about that I met
Yeah.
30 some years ago at Camp Pendleton, California. So I want to have you on, Mike, because there's a lot of our listeners and viewers that are into the outdoorsy stuff, the hiking and all that kind of stuff. And um, you just recently embarked on a venture hiking the Appalachian Trail, like 2,200 miles or some shit. Okay.
Right.
And the thing is, for anyone that doesn't know the history with me and Mike, we met it in the Corps in California. We're both from northeast of the United States. You know, I'm in Ohio. I grew up in Ohio. Mike grew up in Maine. We ended up meeting in California a long time ago, and then we both ended up in South Carolina, and it's been wild, man. Like it's been wild. We live like 15 minutes apart from each other, so we still hang out as a lifelong friend, and it's pretty cool to have you on. But I wanted to get you on here to talk about your some of your background and how you got to where you're at today, and then what the heck are you doing this 2,000-mile hike, bro?
Uh, I have no idea. Call it a midlife crisis. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, you wanted a little background. So,
Yeah,
yeah, my
you grew up
background
in
is,
Maine, right?
yeah, born and raised in Maine. Spent 19 years there, and then, like you said, I grew up in a tiny ass little town, 750 people. Didn't even have a red light, and we had basically three choices: stay there, go in the military, or go to college. So I chose the military, uh, joined the Marine Corps in '89, and then ended up in Pendleton, where I met you at in early 1990. And we've known each other, like you said, ever since. Uh,
I'm
and
sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. See what you did to me? Yeah, but you had to come smoking now and teach me how to drink Robitussin by the bottle. And
Remember Ben that had a reaction to it and was sick all night?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The stupid shit you do in the military when you're trying to get high on a budget. And
Oh Lord.
yeah, you couldn't do drugs, so you drank cough medicine. It's
No
yeah,
shit.
the silly shit we used to do. But yeah, anyway, so like Eric said, after I got out of the Corps, I went home. I went back home to Maine. I think it lasted 3 months, and I wasn't convinced I could handle Maine winters anymore. So I moved to South Carolina. I had family down here, and moved down in geez, when did I move down there? I guess it was November '92 when I moved there, and I've been there, ever since, over 32 years.
Yeah.
I've always considered Maine will always be home for me just because that's where I was born and raised. But yeah, I've lived in South Carolina longer than I ever did in Maine or California or anywhere.
Yeah. You know what's
Um,
wild is so the way you and I found out that we were both in South Carolina was we moved down here in '07, November of '07, and
Right.
Facebook was just
Just
starting to be a
start.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would have never started a Facebook thing. I wasn't into like social media crap or whatever. So
No, none of
uh,
us knew anything about it.
we
It
didn't
was
know anything
literally
about it.
started. Yeah.
We knew email. Okay, that was
Yeah.
about it. And AOL
Yeah.
Instant Messenger. You remember that?
Right. You got mail.
So we moved down here in '07, and I took some pictures, and I had started a Facebook just to kind of keep my mom and sisters updated on our kids' progress and, pictures of the kids. So I started a Facebook, I posted it, and I think you found me on Facebook or something. You sent me a message. It was like, where is that?
Yep.
Where is that picture from? Like, where are you at? Because we took the kids to a water park, and
Yep.
uh, I said, oh, we're at this, water park thing, whatever. And we're in South Carolina. And he was like, dude, I could throw a rock and hit you right now from my house. I was like, holy shit. I mean, what a
Yeah.
random
Yeah.
coincidence
It
that
was
we ended up.
literally in my backyard. Yeah. We
Yeah.
were in the neighborhood, buttered right up to that water park.
Uh-huh.
And you were right there. And then come to find out when we started talking again, you guys had been coming there for years to visit Jen's parents, which are your in-laws,
Right.
the kids' grandparents.
Yeah.
And it's like we had been right there next to each other and had no idea.
No idea.
No, no.
Crazy.
But,
And
yep.
now we've had,
Small world, dude.
we
Yeah.
created some memories in the military, and then created some crazy memories here as well.
Yep. Well, that and
Drinking
also
and
in Missouri, when we went out there, we got together
that's right.
with Peterson and all them guys that we were stationed with. You remember he had that all them vacation points that he paid for
Yep.
everybody's hotel room basically, and we all met in Missouri at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Dude, that was fun.
Yeah, you remember that? And
I do.
we're sitting there, and we're like, "Where are you at?" And you're like, "Oh, I thought that was next week. You were still in Ohio."
That's right. I did forget about that. So we started driving.
Right.
No, I thought you were talking about
down on the way. Yeah.
Yeah, van broke down. Exactly. Yeah, that was the transmission. The pan gasket blew out.
That's right. And you went to a Jiffy Lube of all places where they got a bunch of morons working.
Oh my God, it was crazy, man. But yeah, we
But
made it
you
there.
got there. Yeah.
It was great, dude. We spent how long were we there? 4 or 5 days?
I think we were there a week, weren't we?
Yeah, it was like a
I'm
week.
pretty sure it was a week. Yeah, it was Saturday to Saturday. But yeah, we hadn't seen each other in over 10 years. And so it was like a 10-year reunion for us. And Peterson came from Idaho. Steen came from California. Moore came from Missouri or from Louisiana. And I came from the Carolinas, and you guys were still in Ohio.
Yep.
And Liptak didn't show up. He was supposed to be there from Massachusetts.
That's right.
But we pretty much hit every corner of the country, and everybody came in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Spent a week out there getting drunk, and when one of us, I don't know if it was us or Moore, brought an Xbox with Guitar Hero. Remember the kids were playing Guitar Hero? Moore's oldest stepson or whatever was really good at it.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, he was doing the Guitar Hero thing, and he was showing my son, our sons, how to do playing it on expert mode and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just the thing I remember the most was Peterson's daughter, Miranda.
Yeah.
She was rather older looking for a young girl. What was she, 15 or something, or 14? And like most girls, I mean,
looked
she
like
looked
20.
25. Yeah.
For real.
And some guys at the pool were talking shit to her.
Yeah.
And I think wasn't it your daughter that went down and went, my dad and all his Marine Corps buddies are here and they will kill you, so you better stop.
Yeah. I remember somebody went over and told him, those guys over there, they're all Marine Corps buddies. Don't, better watch what you say.
You better be nice to her and treat her with respect and stop looking at her like she's Pam Anderson or whatever.
Yeah, for real now.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we had a great time. And then we've known each other a long time. A lot of history there. It's great to have, especially as we get older, man. We both have kids that are grown. You just
now the grandbabies are coming.
got a
Yeah.
grandchild. You've got, you know, one of your children just got married, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was Lisa's daughter, yeah, so
Yeah.
then we got four of six are married, so,
Yeah.
yeah, or, sorry, three of six, yeah, the two girls and Morgan are married, so,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then, so that's your background and history. Now, what made you start this journey? Like, it was really out of the blue. And I'm going to tell you, so anyone
Dude,
watching and listening,
dude, it's
okay,
not,
Mike and I,
you know,
we've known each other. This is our history. We've known each other. Like, we're like brothers. Okay. And then, we live close together. So we text each other every once in a while. We'll hang out every once in a while, you know, both of us and our wives. And, so all of a sudden, Mike didn't tell me shit. All I know is I see on his Facebook thing, oh, hey, I'm hiking fucking 2,000 miles. Like, what happened? I said, dude, what is going on?
yeah, yeah, I don't know,
Like, where did this
call it a
idea come
midlife,
from? Because you've never
uh,
really been a
yeah,
hiker per se.
it, no, I mean, again, we haven't, you know as well as I do, since the Marine Corps, haven't done anything really physical. I mean, I played in the men's hockey league a couple times, but I mean, that was more for fun. Um, you know, good exercise, but it was never a committed thing. So, uh, basically, it call it a perfect storm. So I lost my job in February. Uh, Pretty much right on Valentine's Day. Got let go from work.
Okay.
So that, yeah, didn't really break my heart any. It was good money, but the hours sucked, and uh, we literally had a meeting with our financial advisor the week before, and had a long conversation with him that I basically was telling him I'm ready to retire,
Yeah.
and we've got some plans that we want to do as far as buying an RV and traveling and stuff, because Lisa works remote. That's been one of our dreams, and he basically green lighted it and said that we were in a situation. He's like, if you retire tomorrow, scratch the RV, you can go ahead and retire. So when I lost my job a week later, I was like, you know, talk about a perfect opportunity. I'm like, how bad do we want that RV? You know, he was
Right.
basically saying work another 4 or 5 years and save up the money for the RV was what his recommendation was.
Gotcha.
Um, so uh, I've got two people that I know back home in Maine. One I went to school with, we're the same age. Uh, she's she's got cancer right now, and it's a
Oh,
terrible prognosis. She's all ate up with it, and it just they're not giving her but a few months. We're the exact same age, you know. And again, you
yeah.
grow up in a small town, you know everybody. Uh, so that kind of, again, we didn't remain close after school, but you still know everybody because
Sure.
you're from the same town.
Hmm.
And then another guy I know that he was a few years older than me. He actually gave me my first job out of high school. He was a carpenter, and I worked with him one summer. We were like doing just odd jobs and stuff, jacking up camps and stuff, leveling them out, doing different carpentry work or whatever. And he had prostate cancer 4 years ago, I think, and they told him he was going to live 6 months, and he beat it because he went to Boston and found some real doctors, not the shit doctors in Maine.
Yeah.
And now he just found out a couple weeks ago. Now he's got throat cancer, and
Ooh,
it's just
man.
like, dude, what? Yeah, what the fuck? You know, you're just talk about getting kicked. But anyway, it's kind of all that stuff hitting at the same time. It's like, and again, with our kids being older and my first grandchild, you just start looking at life differently. And it's like Lisa and I have had many conversations lately about, do we really want to wait till retirement age to start living the life we want to live, or do we want to start doing it now?
Exactly.
You know, I don't want to work 70 hours a week anymore and make $100,000+ a year. I don't need to. I'm not raising a
Yeah.
family anymore. So it just, uh, when they let me go, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to start living my life the way I want to live it. And honestly, I started watching. Don't ask me what even made me look it up. I've always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to do this, but I guess because it was never a reality, I had never really given much thought to it. Um, again, where I grew up in Maine, we were so remote. I literally drove by the Appalachian Trail sign where it crosses over the Kennebec River over Highway 201, maybe 40 miles south of town for 19 years. Always knew the trail was there. Never had any inclination to hike it.
Yeah.
But just, you know, it was just one of those things that was always there. And I went down the rabbit hole one night. My wife snores. She's going to hate me for saying that, but she keeps me up a lot at night. And what do most of us do late at night? We get on our damn phone and start surfing shit. And I went down the rabbit hole of looking at people hiking the Appalachian Trail and just got hooked. I
Really?
mean, there's one girl, her name is Dixie from Alabama, and that was, I think, her trail name. And she did like a 5 hour movie about the whole experience, buying her gear, what she tested out. I mean, the whole trail from beginning to end. Um, and it was really informative, and it just hooked me, hook, line, and sinker. You
Yeah.
know what? If I want to do this, now is the perfect time to do it. We can afford to do it. You know, I'm basically taking a gap year. I will go back to work, but like I said, I'm not going to go back to a career.
Right.
I'll do something, but I'm not going to kill myself
Not
anymore.
only that, but you're still at a good age. You're still got your health. You're in good
Right,
shape.
right, and
Yeah.
that's just it. It's one of those things that's like, do you wait around another? I mean, I'm going to be 54 this year. Do I wait around another 10 years? And who knows what kind of shape I'm in 10 years? I had an uncle that when he retired in January and he dropped dead in July. You
Oh,
know, just, you know, 6 months into it, and the guy worked his whole life and just had a massive heart attack sitting there eating breakfast, you know, face down in his oatmeal. Who the
yeah.
hell wants to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So you just, like I said, these little things just happened, and it's just like, you know what? Let's let's just start living our life now. So
Yeah.
I spent basically from the time I lost my job until I left April 30th. I was pretty much on YouTube every night, just watching videos, and it was gear videos. You know, all the guys that are selling the gear, testing the gear, and then just people hiking the trail and their different experiences, what they had out there. And I just felt like, you know, I had all the information I needed. And honestly, the girl Dixie that I watched, she was very similar to me, that she just basically got a wild hair across her ass one day and decided to do this. Now, granted, she was in her 20s when she did it, so she
Yeah.
was in a whole lot better shape than me. But again, the girl had never hiked a day in her life, and she just went and bought all the gear and was like, I'm going to go hike 2,000 miles. And she did it,
Yeah.
you know. And it's, again, you and I both know from being in the Marine Corps and the I guess just the state of mind you have to be in there. What do we always say? Welcome to the suck,
Yeah.
you know.
Embrace the
And
suck.
it's yeah, it's embrace the suck, and it's pretty much the same thing out here. You know, you're in the elements 24/7. You're not getting showers, but maybe once a week if you're lucky, if not longer. You're in all kinds of weather. You know, one day it's 90 degrees, the next day it's raining and it's 50. You're soaking wet. You've got blisters. You're tired. The bugs, but it's just, I love it. I am so happy when I'm out there. I mean, I'm a month in now, and I haven't had one time that I thought this was a fucking mistake.
That's good.
So
That's good to hear.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
didn't think
it's, you
so, because
know,
when I talked to you today, when you and I talked today, we spoke on the phone, and I was like, bro, what happened? Where did you like where did you go? Like, you went out in the fucking
right,
woods, and
yeah,
you're like, dude, I love it, man. It's like connecting with nature, with ground, like getting grounded, get away
yeah,
from.
yeah,
And I really think that a lot of people have this kind of desire inside of us. Like, this is something we're drawn to,
yeah,
and we'll see movies, we'll see shows, we'll see YouTube videos, and we're like, man, that looks good. Like, I want to do
yeah,
that. I want to get out of my house. I want to get out of my apartment. I want to go do that thing. But
sure,
it's a huge task,
yeah. Yeah, it's a
So
huge commitment. Yeah,
right.
and it's not for everybody. But I mean, I've seen every walk of life out here. I've seen people that you look at and you're like, you're going to drop dead on the first mountain, you know, because they're just so out of shape or
Yeah.
whatever. And, you know, 2 weeks later, you're 200 miles up the trail and they're still going.
That's
And then you
crazy,
see
right?
some people that are absolutely physical fit and they're complaining the first day, I can't do this. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, you're never going to make it. You know, and
Yeah.
again, same thing back to the Marine Corps. You
Yeah.
know,
Military. Yeah. You get those guys that are
yeah, it's a
like football
mindset.
players. They come in there like,
Right.
oh, I know what to do. And then they
Yeah.
wash out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not necessarily always the fittest person. It's just if you've got the right mindset and you can stick it out, it's yeah, it's rather it's
So,
well worth it.
and not only this, but you started this hiking thing, this journey, and which is awesome, man. And this is why I wanted to have you on, because uh it is obviously it's not airsoft or paintball related or anything like that, but I have a lot of people on here that don't play those games.
Right.
They're just military veterans. We have something in common with that. And so but you and I knowing each other for as long as we do, and then you doing this, I thought, man, and there's a couple guys on my channel that or that I follow, that they go hiking all the time. They
Right.
post about it and that kind of thing. So one of the guys is up in Pennsylvania. He probably knows where you're at, like as far as where he's probably been on that trail. He's
Yeah.
always hiking. But you started doing this, and then also started a YouTube channel which you had never started before, right?
Yeah.
And you're dude, you're editing pretty
It's
good, man, like for
it's
real.
very low budget. Don't
Yeah.
hype it up. It's bad.
No,
There's
listen,
some guys
bro.
I watch out there that they look like mini movie makers.
Yeah.
There's a guy from Ireland that I follow. His name's Derek Cullen, and I'm not only his accent, listening to him,
That's
when he
cool.
talks, but he's got really good videos. I really enjoy watching him, and he's probably 500 or 600 miles behind me. He's still in Virginia, but he started in Georgia, where I started in Harper's Ferry, which was about the midway point.
Okay.
So again, for anybody that wants to know in particular, I guess the particulars about the trail runs from Georgia to Maine. Some people do it southbound. Most people do it northbound. The reason for that is because where the trail ends in Maine on Mount Katahdin, they don't usually open the mountain until the 1st of June because it's got so much snow on it. It's the highest peak in the East Coast in the whole United States, so it's a big
Oh, wow.
mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, so the guys coming south, if they want to start at Katahdin, they have to wait until usually the 1st of June to start. Where the guys coming up from Georgia, they usually start mid-February through March. So
Okay.
like I said, I had personal reasons why I started later. One of our daughters was getting married in April, so I just waited till after the wedding and then started then. And so I started halfway. So I'm doing what they call a flip flop. So I'm going from Harper's Ferry to Maine, and then I'll flip back south from Harper's Ferry back to Georgia. And that way, when I finish the trail, it's only like 3 hours from the house for me. So it's an easy ride for Lisa to come get me.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm
I
still doing
wondered.
the whole trail in a calendar year, which is what you want to do to be considered a through hike.
Okay.
Some people do it in sections. I had a friend from back home in Maine that did it, and it took him like 3 or 4 years because he did little pieces of it each year.
Oh, okay.
Some people do that, but for the most part, if you want to be considered a through hiker, and I think the Appalachian Conservancy gives you like a patch at the end of it if you do it in a full calendar year. So it's kind of, it's like a bragging thing or whatever. I mean, it's literally just a patch to put on your pack, but
Sure.
it still means a lot. You walk 2,200 fucking miles
Exactly.
in a year. Yeah,
Yeah. No shit.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
when I looked it up, when I first found out about it after I saw your Facebook thing, when I looked it up, it was like, oh, it's 2,200 miles, something, whatever, and it takes like
yeah,
6 or 7 months. I was like,
yeah,
holy
yeah.
shit. That's when I texted you and said, are you doing the whole thing? And you're like, yep.
Right.
And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, it's a commitment. Yeah, I'm hoping to do it in six or less. The fastest people that do it, they do it in like 4.5. But I
Wow.
mean, they're cranking out 35 plus miles a day, and there's just I can't do that.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
too much. I've been averaging. I'd say my average right now is probably about 18. I fluctuate between 15 and 20 a day.
Okay.
Like today I did just under 16. Yesterday I did 19 and a half.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, I think the best day I've had so far was just under 21. It was like 20.9, and it was cold and rainy that day. So it was, you move a little more, a little faster. It just depends again on the terrain and everything, how many mountains you're climbing. You mentioned Pennsylvania. We all call it Rocksylvania because the whole state is just fucking rock. And
That's what
it's,
got me on your video, your YouTube video, is like
yeah, it's
one
just
of the ones I was
rubble.
like, oh, okay, this is a nice kind of laid out trail. And then like
Yeah,
then you cut to all these boulders and I was like, holy
yeah,
shit, nope, not going
yeah.
there.
Yeah. That's definitely hard on the ankles for sure.
Hmm.
But and now I'm in New York. Like I told you earlier, I'm less than 30 miles from the Connecticut line. I actually got up to right where it crosses I-84 today, and it's good trail. There's a little mixture of everything. So you're doing a little billy goating over the mountains and stuff and some of the rocks, but it's a little bit of rubble, but it's nice clear path. And then it gets a little overgrown where the sun's hitting, so the grass and the weeds grow. So it's almost like you're going from jungle to pathway,
Yeah,
into the pucker brush and stuff. So,
right.
but yeah.
But yeah, you've got I got your YouTube channel pulled up. You've got 8 videos that you put out.
Okay.
So what, I don't understand, what is NOBO? I never looked it up, but it's an
That's
acronym, right? Northbound, okay.
northbound, and then southbound is Tobo. And then, like I said, what I'm doing is called a flip flop.
Yeah, northbound
So I'm
flip
actually
flop.
going north. Yeah, I'm headed north now, so that's why it's
Yeah,
a no ball. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then by the time you get up to Maine, you said that'll all be melted and you can go up to that
Yeah,
mountain and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Well, I mean, the first is what, a day or two away because we're right at the end. It may already be open because they didn't have a lot of snow this year, but just generally they don't open until the 1st of June because
Right.
they got to wait till the snow melts up there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This is crazy,
So
man. Well,
what a lot of people may do too is they may start south just away from Katahdin. They can still do the trail. It's just the mountain they don't open up.
okay.
And then they have to go back and do the mountain, at the end of
To
it or
actually
whatever.
count for the whole.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Are there
Yeah.
checkpoints along the way? You have to stop in, and how did they know that you've done it?
No, it's all
It's all honor based.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean there's conservancies at each end. So there's one in Georgia where you start. There's one in Harper's Ferry where I got on at because I signed in. They ask you to register just so they kind of get an idea how many people are out on the trail, but you
Sure.
don't have to. There's people
Oh,
go out and hike the trail all the time and they don't register.
gotcha.
But it's just basically a way for them to keep track of the numbers, especially Georgia, because of so many people starting in the spring. Like I said, thousands of people a year do this. I think the last numbers I saw, I think we were around 3,500 were at least registered this year.
Yeah.
So
Well, I would
it's a
imagine
lot
it
of
would go
people.
into like like getting some kind of funding from the government to keep up the trail. And like if
Well,
they only
it's
had,
more
10 people doing it.
right. It's more. I think it's also more. They want to do a leave no trace. So they want to cut down on the footprint.
Oh,
So
okay.
they try to limit it to a certain amount of people on the trail each day, and
Mm,
then so they ain't all bunched up. So they try to, again, they can't really enforce it. They just recommend it, but they don't like more than like 20 people a day to start at the same
okay.
time
I kind of like
because
that, man, because they did that in Jen and I went to Utah last August,
yeah, yep,
and we went to Moab first,
right,
and
right.
out
But it's all
there
same thing. It's
they
all
did the same
National
thing.
Park Service. Yeah, it's part
They
of the
limit
national
the amount
park.
of people coming in there. Yeah.
Yep,
I
yep,
love that.
yep. And it's just to cut down, like I said, on the footprint because again, if
Hmm.
you have early February, you know how wet it is in the south. And if you've got a couple hundred people on that trail all at once, it's
Yeah.
going to trample everything down.
It's a mess.
And also, not only that, you have that same couple hundred people that are shitting in the woods.
Yeah.
So they're all digging cat holes on top of each other, and then they have what's called norovirus that you can catch, and you're usually evacuating out both ends, and you just
Oh.
then you got to get off trail for a couple days and get meds and get rehydrated and stuff. It's a nasty bug that goes around,
Hmm.
and it usually always happens around North Carolina again because you got so many people together and they're so dirty and they tell you they're like don't share anything, especially food, with each other.
Yeah.
But of course you get a lot of the hippies out here that like smoking weed and stuff, and I ain't got no problem with that. But again, they start passing the joint around. Well, what are you doing? You don't
Yeah,
know if
you're
that guy's
catching it,
washing his
bro.
hands and he's got a
Yep.
little dookie on his fingers. Now you're shitting and puking your brains out for 3 days because you did a little puff pass. So you got to think about that stuff.
It's wild just how simple it is to, like, just sanitation, washing
Sure.
your hands,
Oh
just
yeah.
washing your
Yeah.
hands. I mean, when I was at
Yeah.
MCT, we got quarantined because we all got pink eye, and pink eye
Yeah.
comes from, you know, typically from shit getting in your eye. You
Yeah.
rub your eye, it's on your hand, if whatever, when you're
Right.
shitting in the woods, and
Yeah. Somebody didn't
you're
wipe
wiping with
themselves.
leaves.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's funny,
So
man. Well, I
yeah.
want to
So it's
track your progress too on this, because I think it's really cool. This is our first podcast. I would like to have you on again in a few weeks,
yeah.
and talk about where you're at, what you're doing, what's going on. But
Sure.
I want to share your YouTube channel too. I'm going to bring it up on the screen, so you don't have to do anything on your end. It's just going to show you another screen probably. There you go.
Oh boy.
I know,
Look at
right?
me with my 50 views.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, humble beginnings, man. I mean,
Hey,
that's,
hey, look at my cat video. I got like 4,000 on that. So
yeah, I
people
know.
like
I
cats
saw
more
this
than they
thing.
like hikers.
Well, the thing, I watched the whole video, bro, and I was like,
uh,
the cat didn't do shit.
no, he's worthless. That's what I said. Worthless cat. That damn squirrel was 6 inches from me, just sitting there looking at it. It's
And
like,
he's
kill
sitting here
that
looking
fucking
at it
thing.
like,
Yeah. And of course, I put the Benny Hill music on it, which
I
he
love it.
needed. Yeah.
And look, the whole time he doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
He gets ready
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and he doesn't do it. I was like,
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
anticlimactic.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
cat. So where did you
Yeah.
come up with this your little icon here, your little logo?
I've had that picture forever.
Feeding a
Yeah,
deer?
I've had that picture forever. I don't even know. I found it online. It's not even me or anybody I know. It's
Gotcha.
just a cool picture.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got 8 videos out. You started 3 weeks ago is your first video, and you're tracking pretty much your however many days it goes in between, because you can't
Yeah,
upload.
it's not exact, but I'm just
Yeah,
throwing
it's
days
close.
up there because again, like I told you earlier, the problem is I can only download them when I got Wi-Fi. So it's usually like I said, this week my wife's up here and we got a place that we're staying at, so I got Wi-Fi. But normally it's whenever I get to town to take a shower or whatever, stay in a hostel. So if there's Wi-Fi available, then I try to upload videos.
Yeah, I really appreciate that you're doing this and you're uploading these. These are timeless, man. Once they're out here, like, we
Yeah.
share this stuff. It's this is something that your kids can watch later and see the
Yep.
progress. It's great,
Yep.
man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah, and
appreciate
again,
that
I'm
too.
I'm more into the nature side of it, I guess. So I'm always posting pictures of the animals and the snakes, whatever else I find. My wife and I are both in kind of green thumb into we like flowers and stuff. So a lot of the flower pictures I posted for her, but and then of
Yeah.
course the scenery and stuff. And again, I try to give the viewer some semblance of what's going on out there because I've had a lot of family members. It was funny when I started telling people that I was going to do this. So my mom's getting ready to turn 80 and she got a little teary eyed. She's like, you know what? That's something I always wanted to do. And I said, see, exactly right there. I don't want to wait until I'm your age and then can't do it and go,
Yeah.
shit, I wish I had done that.
Yeah.
So, and then like Lisa's mom, she thinks I'm absolutely nuts out here. She can't believe I'm doing it. Are you crazy? What are you doing? And she thinks that our marriage is in trouble because I'm talking like I'm going to be gone for 6 months. And I'm like, no, our marriage has never been better. And
Right.
Lisa's been very supportive, and I appreciate the hell out of her for that. But it's, like I said, it's one side or the other. People are my youngest son Matthew. He's a hiker, and he's super happy for me. He thinks this
Yeah.
is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then my oldest boy, again, he's like, "What are you nuts? What are you doing?" But it's you know, you get the both sides of the coin, I guess.
Sure.
You
Oh
get
yeah.
you get a lot of people that are rooting for you, and then again, people that just think you're crazy, or they're like, "Oh my God, are you bringing a gun? You know, you're going to get murdered out there." And it's, you know, people were like, "You're doing it alone," and I'm like, "Yeah, but there's 3,000 other people out. You're never alone.
Right.
You're not." One of my, I think the last video I just posted, I added a picture in there, and there's like a group of 6 or 8 of us right now that have met up and we're hanging out. You know, you just find people
I
out there.
saw
Again,
that.
it's very
You
similar to
tagged it like
racing.
friends along the trail or something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And again, you know as well as I do. It's just like the military. You know, you and I, the idea that you were in Ohio and I was from Maine, the chances of us ever meeting on any other planet other than being in the military together, you know,
Yeah.
and because of that experience, here we are 40 years later, and
It's
we
crazy.
still, yeah, that we're still in each other's life. And it's
Yeah.
just,
It is
you know,
wild. You definitely think about
yeah,
that more as we get older. And the the guys that and all the people that follow this channel and that kind of thing, they are kind of had a wake up call recently. So 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
one of the guys that I had on the podcast passed away suddenly. And
really,
yeah, he had a massive heart attack. He was 52 years old, uh,
jeez,
in great shape. I'm talking like really, really good shape. Okay. The guy
yeah,
was ripped. Uh, he was 20 years in the Army, Ranger, special, forces, whatever, like,
yeah,
and a real badass, like for real, and super humble, man. Like, and so I had him on the podcast, and then a month later, gone. And the thing
yeah,
was, just a lot of the guys that a lot of the people that are part of this community, the airsoft and paintball and all this, that I've had on here and stuff, that
yeah,
they have really reached out to his wife, and he was actually he lived in Myrtle Beach, him and his wife, and he was never real big on like posting on social media. He had just got an Instagram when I found him, and didn't even know
yeah,
how to use it. So it was great. I mean, but now she has this 2-hour video of him and I talking, and he goes into
yeah,
his personal life, how he grew up. He was orphaned, right? And then met up with his mom just this past year. Never knew his
right,
mom growing up, and
yeah,
always had those questions like why did she leave me, kind of thing. So we had a little bit
sure,
of closure before that, and so I mean, these, getting as you get older, we start thinking about these things like our memories. Are we creating memories with our kids? How are we going to be remembered? These kind of things.
sure,
So it does change your perspective a lot.
yep, yep, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst of it is too is, you know, a big shout out to my Lord and Savior Joe Rogan, but
Oh God.
yeah, he says this all the time about it. I mean, and he's right. If you think about it, you're two generations from never being remembered again.
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, it's like your kids are going to remember you, and your grandkids are going to sort of remember you, but after that, you're just a picture.
Yeah.
You know, honestly,
We
I
are
mean, and
all of us.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's sad to think that, but it's really true if you think about it.
Oh, it
Because I mean,
is.
I've got pictures of my great grandparents and stuff, you know, in my photo albums. I'm like, I don't know who these people were. I
Nope.
just knew they were, you know, great grandparents,
Yeah.
and that was it. I didn't, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that's one of the reasons, when I started doing this, and why I started doing this YouTube. I would have never started a YouTube channel, coming out of my illness and then all this other, my midlife crisis.
yeah,
And and starting this, and then this channel turned into a podcast. I didn't really have a vision for it until last year,
yeah,
when I started realizing how important it is to get our stories out there like this, like what you and I are doing right now, and what you're doing with your YouTube channel and stuff. So this has become my passion, to help people get their story out. This is a venue that anyone can come on, and we can talk freely and openly about, life, whatever, like how you got
yeah,
to where you're at today, and what you're excited about, what
right,
drives you, and that kind of shit. And then we can
yeah.
just share it. It's cool.
Hey, do me a favor, lean forward a little bit. I'm trying to read your hat.
Oh, it's CNR
CNR.
reviews.
Okay, CNR reviews. Okay,
So that was
you're fine.
so this YouTube channel, the trifecta one,
Uh-huh.
this is my third one. So when I got sick, when I was coming out of it, I started a channel for my family stuff. Then I started this one, CNR
Okay.
reviews. It's Colton and E-Rock. So Colton Rock
Okay.
review. That's what the R stands for. My E-Rock is my nickname on
Right.
my gamer tag and on here. And
Yeah.
so we were like, oh, Colton Rock reviews. So we started doing a review channel. And Colton's
Right. I
like,
remember seeing those videos early on when
yep,
they were doing all the gun videos and stuff with the airsoft stuff and talking about them.
yeah. And we were going to do the airsoft stuff on this channel and
Okay.
review them. And then when I didn't know how many guns and gear and all that shit was available in airsoft. And when
Yeah.
they started showing me, I said, oh, there's enough content to just start a whole separate channel. So
Right.
yeah, so that's what this one is. I still have, I bought hats, I bought some t-shirts and stuff to, do the videos in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
dude, I was on steroids. You know how I was. I was all kind of whacked out, bro. Like I was like, let's get hats and t-shirts. Colton's like, what are we gonna review, bro? And I said, get something out of the kitchen. I'm not shitting, man. He went and grabbed a spatula. And I don't even
Uh,
cook.
the,
That's
that's
what that one is.
crazy.
But anyway, and you look,
Yeah.
what's funny is we came up with this design right here, this logo. Looks fucking
Uh-huh.
awesome, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And a skull, crossbones with
Right.
pistols, and and then uh and then we review kitchen utensils.
Oh, Jesus.
Somebody said, what do you guys review? Like guns and stuff because of your logo? And I said, no, man, like blenders, okay?
Blender.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Uh,
it's been
yeah.
fun. But man, thank you so much for coming on,
Yeah.
dude. It's been great talking with you. I was
Sure.
glad we got to catch up earlier today as well. And
Yep.
I would love to,
One quick thing
yeah,
I
go
gotta
ahead.
say to you is that I saw this the other day. I don't know why the hell it popped up on my damn page, but it did. So you had Gilliam's Bear disease, which if I'm assuming you've talked a lot with your viewers or whatever, you're
Yeah,
still dealing. I mean, you're gonna have it forever, right? It
right.
doesn't go away, but you're better than you were for
I'm
sure.
80% right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I remember when you fell over at my house and we thought you fucking, we
Bled
didn't
all
know
over your,
what was wrong with you. I know you broke your nose and
uh,
shit, and oh, geez, it was bad. But anyway, so I think I figured out how you got it. So Jenna Jameson, the porn star, has it.
who does?
Jenna Jameson, you remember her from the
Oh, yeah.
90s?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, she has Gilliam's
Oh,
Bear.
shit.
Yeah, that was the article that I saw popped up because it was like one of those tabloid things or
Yeah.
whatever was saying about how bad she looked or how bad a shape she was in. And then I clicked on it and read the article and it said that she had Gilliam's Bear disease. And I thought, that son of a bitch got it from jerking off the Jenna Jameson videos.
It came through the magazine.
Right, right. You're looking too many too many hustlers or whatever that she used to be in. But yeah, yeah. I mean,
Uh,
there's always those ones, but she was our icon. That was our girl back
oh,
in the
for real.
day.
Back then too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't tell Jen.
But
Okay. Don't tell Jen. She
yeah,
doesn't know
yeah.
yet.
No,
They're like, the
no.
doctor's like, how do you think you got it? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So maybe when you were in LA, maybe you took a run up there to the porn studios. I don't know. Jeez. Probably that
uh,
night we were on our way to Yosemite and you made a 7 hour phone call in that phone booth while we had to fall asleep and wait for you.
oh my God, dude. Those were, how terrible.
Back before cell phones, you actually had to go to a phone booth to call your girlfriend in
Get on a
Ohio.
payphone,
I
MCI
miss
calling
you.
card.
Yeah, I miss you, honey.
Oh,
Uh, Jeez.
oh man,
Uh,
that's been great,
anyway,
dude. Thank you so much.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we'll catch up with you again. Anyone watching, and listening, we're gonna follow Mike's progress. Okay, I'm gonna do some reaction videos to where for his YouTube videos, so you guys can see the progress from day one all the way through. And I'll have a little map I'll do up on there too, and see where you're going, where you've
yeah,
been. And yeah, man, keep updating all that stuff. It's
yeah.
great. It's great to see you
Yeah,
on the trail.
probably the next time I talk to you, I'll be in Massachusetts. Like I said, I ain't got much of New York left, and Connecticut's real quick. It's not a lot, so. Then
Awesome,
on to
man.
Massachusetts, then Vermont, New Hampshire, and then Maine, and then back to heading south, so.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
tag your Facebook and your YouTube and stuff when I post this, so you'll know when. I'll let you know.
okay,
It'll come out in the next week. So
sure.
awesome, dude.
All right, sounds
Appreciate you,
good,
man.
brother.
Have a good night.
All right, man, love you.
Love you too, bro.